hey, late to the party. It's not that long of a drive. We'll come down and do a reaction with you. There's some Inner Geekdom stuff and some Star Wars stuff coming up soon. Hello, cult members, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And this is episode 51 of the Pop Culture Cult. Dun, dun, dun. We have a parabola of... We have a lot of stuff to talk about. And most of it's about people complaining about Justice League.
No.
We have some reviews that we want to do. We will talk about Justice League and its opening. We're going to talk about Quentin Tarantino getting paid. And then we have a bunch of stuff on the back end. Mostly I'm excited about Phoenix Comic-Con stuff.
I know.
You've been warned.
I already knew.
Oh. I was trying to be original.
No.
No, not really?
No.
Not going to happen?
No.
All right. So we want to talk about first is we went and saw Justice League over the weekend, and we did a full spoiler review on Sunday. It's up on the page. I will tag it to the end of this video. I'm apparently going to talk with my hands a lot on this episode, so yeah, I'll just do that. And but just a quick overview. Like I did a straw poll on exit poll, maybe is a better way of putting it, on Facebook today, on my personal page, and then on the Blue Ribbon Army page, which is the fan page for Phoenix Comic-Con. And it seems like the gist of everybody is, they out of 10 they give it a 7 or so. It seems like to be the average,
between a 6 and a 7,
and
which is pretty much where we were.
Yeah, and so I'm quite happy to see that a majority of people are feeling that way about it.
Yep.
There were some 3s, there were some 9s.
But you throw those out,
right,
to get the median.
It's like the Olympics. You take the highest score and the lowest score, and you throw those out.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I was, without giving away the spoiler review of it,
Right.
We liked it.
Yeah. There were some parts that were a little odd, but for the most part, we liked it.
Well, since we have the 4-day weekend coming up, I think we're probably going to end up seeing it again.
Yeah, we'll probably see it again.
Yeah, probably. And I'm after watching some of the other reviews that have been out today, Collider and Jason Edman and Jeremy Johns. Apparently, we missed a bunch.
Yeah, there was a bunch of Easter eggs that...
Yeah.
I mean, we caught some of them, but
Yeah.
didn't catch anywhere near
there's
as many as they did.
Yeah, there's some stuff in there. So we'll have to definitely get caught up to that.
Yeah.
But watch the review after you've seen the movie, because we spoil the shit out of it. There's some spoilers you already know because it's Justice League. Last week, we took our movie pass and we went and saw Murder on the Orient Express. And this was the Kenneth Branagh directed.
And was Hercule Poirot.
Hercules Poirot. Hercule, with the best mustache ever seen on cinema ever.
I kept looking at it was almost distracting. I kept looking at it like, is it real or did they?
Well, they even made fun of it at one point in time. He wakes up and removes the mask, and there's a mask for the mustache underneath it.
It's a little plastic mustache.
It was funny. It was awesome. But what was your overall feeling on Murder of the Orient Express?
I liked it. I always say that. I did.
I'm about you a thesaurus. I can't say it. A thesaurus for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. I really I liked the cinematography, and the different. We kind of talked about this. The different. There's one shot when he's first getting on the train that goes, it's like one continuous shot as he's walking through the train. So, he walks by a window and you see him, and then the break in the window and you don't.
Yeah,
and that was really cool.
Yeah. And then each of the characters were in like some of the windows in there too.
Yeah. And then because you're on a train and it's pretty tight. And so they did some overhead looking down into the room shots, which was nice because, you've got two people and furniture in those little tiny rooms and you don't have room for a camera anymore.
Right.
And that was cool.
And especially when they're trying to figure out the murder scene, right? And you could actually see the layout of how everything was. So all the clues and stuff were kind of laid out with the overhead shot, so you could see where they were all laying.
Right.
And he pointed out all the different. That was a cool shot.
Yeah. And then just the scenery. I mean, where they were, out in the snow Alps, or I don't know where they were, but that was all really cool. I thought, I mean, it was awesome with all the actors, Daisy Ridley and Johnny Depp, and I mean, just Josh Gad, and there's just everybody was in it.
Everybody was really good in it too.
They were, yeah.
It's late 18. Well, no, it's kind of based off the Lindbergh case.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It's probably early 1900s.
Early 1900s time period, and it's early 1800s literature too. And so there's a lot more talking and a lot more pace to it, and it's not big flashy, big explosions and like Justice League or whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's a slow burn to it. There's a slow build up, and it's a lot of people on the internet were talking about how they wanted this to be a modern day Clue, and it's really not what they did. They did a pretty close, at least what we can tell, depiction of the book.
Yeah, I think the ending is different. It's been a while since I read the book, but I don't remember that being the ending. I remember an ending like that in an Agatha Christie book, so they kept the Agatha Christie feel, but I mean, that allows for people that have read the book or seen one of the other movies to
the 17 adaptations they've done for that movie,
to be surprised. I guess I really kind of figured it out probably 20 minutes from the end. I mean, I figured it out pretty quickly.
I was not so lucky.
Well, I've read some of the books.
Yeah,
so
that helped. That helps. And
but
I was really happy we saw it. It opened pretty well. I think it was like 27 million is how it opened. So that was pretty good for really not a big flashy movie or anything. And I think a lot of people went and saw it because of the cast, and Daisy Ridley's really good in it. She's showing that she's actually more than just a Skywalker. Kenobi.
She's
Palpatine.
not Skywalker.
Anyways, but yeah, it was just I was really happy with it. I would watch it again, actually, and even though I know how it ends, I would totally watch it again if it was on HBO or something like that. I think I would. We wouldn't buy it on DVD, I don't think, but yeah, I think it was definitely worth the watch. I was quite happy. Did you wanted to give it a score since?
Sure. So I was trying to think about it. I mean, I want to give it like a 7. I really liked the cinematography.
Yeah.
And I like those kind of movies.
I think I'm 7 as well, 7.5. I don't want to give away our score for Justice League, but it's in that same general area for that.
For completely different
reasons. So, but that's kind of having those two kind of we're going to do one more review here in a second, but having those two different dichotomies of movies, we talked about this. We tried to do each movie by themselves, but sometimes stuff kind of, affects.
Yeah, and you compare your scores to make sure you're not being crazy.
We have to fix the way we actually score, I think. And now, because we're doing like quarter points, because we're like.
Yeah, there's a lot right there in that
cluster,
between
and then there's like
6 and
there's like
8.
Dunkirk and Baby Driver, and there was something else in there, and Blade Runner.
Yeah, and then everything else.
And then everything else is right here.
And then there's some down here like The Circle
and Geostorm.
We
also saw this week. We got it on Redbox because everybody in the world hated it. We saw Ghost in the Shell. Now. Complete disclosure, we don't do anime. No particular reason for it. It's just not something that's ever been on our radar. good, bad, or indifferent. That's just kind of how it is for us. So we weren't familiar with the original anime, and I loved the way it was shot and how layered everything was. So in the trailers and everything, I saw that and I was like very interested. So I know I learned a little bit about the original anime, and then so I had a little bit of a background of what is going to happen in this movie. Before I do my review of it, we watched the making of, and the original director of the original anime gave his blessing on this movie, and he actually talked about how the director of the live action one made it his own, and he made a point of saying he's making his own movie, and that's fine.
Yeah.
He's taking this material and making his own movie and making it look right. They took shots from the original and added it and put it in this movie. But he was even like, dude, this is awesome. He made a version of my film and he made it his own, and it looks awesome, and it was really well done.
Yeah.
And so that was nice to hear from him.
Yeah.
I really liked Ghost in the Shell. I know that a lot of people are going to complain about it, that Scarlett Johansson was the wrong choice because it's whitewashing, and if you look at the character that's drawn in the anime, she kind of looked like the character.
Yeah.
The storytelling process, I think, maybe missed a little bit, but I was entertained. I wasn't upset we watched it.
Yeah.
I probably would like to have seen it on the big screen.
Yeah, just for all the stuff that's going on in the city and everything that it kind of gets lost on a smaller TV.
And the other thing too for us was, at least for me, was I liked Scarlett Johansson as Major.
Yeah,
I liked her, and everybody's like, she was very wooden or robotic. She's a fucking robot.
Yeah, that's what she
is. And so her body is all a robot, and it's pretty much her mind and her consciousness and her soul, essentially. That's all that's left. And so, of course, she was going to be robotic in her movements and everything. And she did a lot of her own stunts and a lot of her own fight choreography and everything like that. And so I was really happy with it. I'm not. I don't know what everybody else was saying. I don't know what the original anime apparently is like. Next level.
Yeah. Okay.
Christ child kind of thing, and this was Pope John Paul. I don't understand. I didn't get it. So how did you feel about?
I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I think we went in with pretty low expectations because everybody had panned it.
Yeah.
And like you said, we don't know the source material. I think I even said it before we watched the extras, that I was like, it was weird that everybody but the guy who's running Section 9 or whatever it's called, was white, and he was the only Asian kind of main character.
Right.
There were other Asians, in there, her mom and stuff, but then we watched the making of, and they showed the characters from the comic, and they were all white too. So I was like, that's
the guy who played the accountant in Dark Knight was on that crew, but he was kind of in the background. Like I could see him, but he was never a major character. But yeah, I didn't get it. And when I did my trailer reaction for it too. And I talked about how everybody was complaining about it, and I have no point of reference of what the other one was.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and so you were talking about her movements and stuff. That felt to me that was on purpose. That she, I mean, we've seen a lot of Scarlett Johansson in all the Avengers movies, and so you're kind of used to how she moves and walks as Black Widow, and you could tell that she was purposely like kind of scrunching her shoulders down and forward and kind of moving along like that. Like, I mean, it wasn't her acting.
It was a conscious
she
decision.
was acting.
Yeah, it was a conscious decision.
Yeah,
to do that.
So
yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I'd
Yep.
probably give it a 7.5.
Oh, that's pretty high.
I would like to watch it again, actually.
All right.
Maybe on the big TV, because we watched it on our little TV in our bedroom.
Because Blu-rays were vexing us.
yeah,
when we. Yeah, I don't know that I'd give it quite that high. Maybe 6.5,
I get that. Yeah,
6.75.
I like the world. I think that's why I'm very much of a visual. I'm a guy, so I'm very much a visual person, right?
Right.
And I'm even more visual than normal because that's how I learn. I'm a visual learner, not a read learner, right? And so the being able to watch and see and everything, that always makes me want. I'm drawn to that more.
Yeah.
Than
And I thought the world was very interesting. The people, the concept, it was all
yeah.
felt a little fresher
Yeah.
than some things that we normally see.
So that's what we thought. The internet is wrong. Now make your brain think about we're on the internet telling everybody what we think. So
We're wrong?
So we have a bunch of other news that we want to get over now that we've done all those reviews. We have some trailer reviews we're going to do in a minute. But the big one we wanted to talk about was Quentin Tarantino's next project has landed at Sony. Quentin had done a bunch of his movies with the Weinstein Company. Harvey Weinstein is a pedophile. No, not a pedophile. He's a creep. And Quentin was like, see ya, and left Weinstein Company altogether. And so everybody pretty much just showed up and said, here's the dump truck and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it.
Yeah.
He said, all right, start bringing me your offers for my next project.
One of the ones that I did see was Warner Brothers made their whole lobby into like the 60s feel to kind of show what they could do for his next project, which is the Charles Manson story that he wants to do.
Right.
And we've talked about it. It's, he does historical fictions as movies, and so
Yeah.
but they set it up to kind of give that feel and stuff. So he lands at Sony. He got he wanted a budget of $93 million, and they said, yeah, sure. I think
Sony.
I think Django was 100, so it's about on par with Django.
Yeah.
He got Final Cut, he got Creative Control, and the big one, he has points on the back end. Now, the talk right now is Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Tom Cruise are in talks to be star in this movie. At least two of them will probably be in it.
Yeah. Well,
And-
I mean, Brad Pitt and Leo have been in his movies before.
Right.
I think Tom Cruise would be interesting.
I would
I don't know as what, but
be interested to see if he would play Charles Manson.
well, and so I was thinking about it, Inglourious Bastards is about Hitler, except Hitler's in it like twice.
Right.
So
And they really only show him. They don't have him like interact. I mean, there's a couple of scenes where he interacts, but it's not really anything. It's Rubles and everybody else.
And so he could do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he could get somebody to play Charles Manson in like, 2 or 3 scenes and the
Yeah.
rest of it be about his crew or...
Well, the talk right now is Margot Robbie is in talks to play Sharon Tate.
Okay.
So if she's going to play Sharon Tate,
Then they're at least going to do the murders.
they're at least going to do the murders, right? So, and Margot Robbie apparently is on fire. We have not watched the trailer yet, but Tanya, she plays Tanya Harding.
Right.
And apparently it's crushing all the reviews right now.
All right.
But I'm just really excited that Quentin is a cinephile. He is
And a musicophile.
well, musicophilis or whatever they call it. But he has no patience for the big company bullshit.
Yeah.
Let me make my movie. This is what I need. Let me make my movie. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I was just a little afraid that some of the big companies would come in and be like, sure, you can make your movie, but we want to have, final edit, or we want to have, some
But
some
he's got
points or whatever.
He can say, okay, bye.
He's got cachet. I mean, he's
Yeah.
at this point in time, for me, now I know this could be sacrilegious, but for me, he's the best director living. I pick him before JJ or Soderbergh, or not Soderbergh. Soderbergh or Spielberg, Scorsese. I would pick Quentin above all that. And the only reason I would is because he writes all of his own stuff.
Yeah.
And then directs it.
Yeah.
So he does the whole process, and then he edits it, and then he puts the music into it. So it's his movie. He is, maybe that director's not the right thing. He is the best filmmaker today.
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited. Whatever his next project was going to be, I was going to be super excited.
I think we own pretty much all of his movies.
I think the only one we don't have is
I think we own all of his movies. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. I can't think of. We don't have Jackie Brown.
Oh, we don't have.
We don't have Jackie Brown.
Oh,
So
Zia.
We'll be right back. Pause for effect. So we're looking forward to Quentin. We had 2 trailers drop in the last week. Deadpool 2 did. Okay, so the marketing for Deadpool, the first Deadpool, was perfect. It was perfect. I mean, like all the stuff that they did and all the silliness they did and all the different things they did, and for a character that a lot of people outside of the comic book world, not knowing who he was and kind of building that up and everything, was just so well done. So this time they've been doing some little pictures and different things of Domino and Josh Brolin's character, Cable, and just different things. Well, this Thanksgiving painting came out about 2 weeks ago.
People lost their fucking minds.
And it's like the whole cast of Deadpool 2.
How come their heads are floating right above the table? It's a painting. God. But
people paid $40 million for a Pollock who just threw some paint on a canvas and whatever. So the trailer was Deadpool 2 brings you the Bob Ross edition.
Yeah.
And it was Deadpool in the Bob Ross thing with the canvas, and he's whacking his brush off, and they had a list of all the colors you needed, and it was like Betty White and Men Black and Clockwork Orange and all this different stuff. And he paints it, and he's talking about
the painting goes from being snow to being like autumn. Like every time you look at it,
fucking high right now.
The painting's different.
But then they show like it's like 20 or maybe 20 seconds of stuff from the movie.
The actual movie, yeah.
And then they come back and they, he finishes the show, and then they run the credits. And so it was a Bob Ross episode with 20 seconds worth of stuff. But from what we saw on that little 20 seconds, it looks awesome. I love the first Deadpool.
I have high expectations. So
we've just talked about this the last couple of days. Not like,
I have
high excitement.
I have high expectations.
All
the
right.
first one was fucking amazing.
It was amazing.
So the second one needs to be
By the
fucking
way,
amazing too.
That's the only way you could say what Deadpool was, is fucking amazing. Because if you don't use the F word there, it's not Deadpool.
Yeah.
They did, however, show that trailer again in front of Justice League, and it was all cut to hell.
Yeah.
Still funny, but not nearly as bad.
Because Justice League is PG-13 or whatever, so they can't.
So that was kind of cool to see that. The other one, as much as I'm excited about Deadpool 2, I've been on the mountaintop screaming for 10 years for Incredibles 2. We've had 3 car movies and 2 airplane movies and all this other bullshit. We're getting Incredibles 2 for fuck's sake. And the teaser trailer is Jack coming from like the quantum realm into this red room, and he starts shooting lasers out of his eyes, and he walks over, and they have the eye from the Incredibles thing, and he walks over, and he looks at it, and he does this with the lasers and makes it a 2, and then the next scene is Dad picking him up and kind of doing the whole dad thing, and
he's like, "Yay, you have powers!
Yeah, you have powers!" And so Jack starts on fire, and then he shoots his lasers off and stuff, and
sneezes.
That's what it was.
And
yeah,
shoots lasers out, like parts his hair, and then fire and lightning, and then starts laughing hysterically because he just burns Dad's hair off.
And Mr. Incredible like kind of turns, look at the screen, and you see this little canyon in his hair. Like, oh God, what has happened? But what I heard today was the movie this time is gonna revolve around Elastic Girl, and then Mr. Incredible is gonna be Mr. Mom. So Mr. Mom with Jack, and just everything is gonna be
Honey, where's my super suit?
And apparently everyone is back. Like,
well, it's an easy gig.
It's a super easy gig.
Go in your jammies and voiceover.
But Craig T. Nelson plays Mr. Incredible.
Yeah.
And doesn't really. He was on College Game Day this weekend doing football picks. I think it's the first time I've actually seen him.
Coach.
Yeah, he was coach on what was that, NBC, CBS, or whatever for so long. But that's I think the first thing I've seen him in years.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's finally. I'm asking for too much. Can we get a cameo from Mark Hamill as Syndrome for like 3 seconds, like the prison scene or something? Come on, they just.
Oh,
that would be
I
awesome.
was thinking Matt Damon because apparently he is the king of cameos, but Mark Hamill would work too.
Spoilers.
You don't know which movie.
You know what movie it is. So we're excited. I'm excited about Incredibles 2. She's incredible.
I'm incredible
You're
about
incredible.
Incredibles 2.
She's incredible. Fucking Deadpool. Last week we told the story about Mark Millar from Millar World teasing everybody about Kick-Ass stuff.
Yep.
I was hoping for Kick-Ass 3. And what it came out to be is they're actually going to bring back the comic of Kick-Ass with a new character playing Kick-Ass, and it's her name. That's right, I said her name is Patience Lee, and she's going to be a mid-30s black woman with military experience. And so she's going to be able to kick some ass and pick up the mantle as Kick-Ass. There's been a kind of a trend of this in the comics, in the comic book world. Thor is a woman in the comics, and
well, they covered all the bases there, right? She's a woman, she's ethnic, and she's military.
Military, right? Exactly. I just think it's cool that they're doing that, but I wanted to pay off that story since we talked about it last week about the tease and everything like that. So I wanted to pay off that story. We'll see. I have to drink for this next part. So last week, Phoenix Comic-Con announced that rooms were available for sale this last Friday. So the block of rooms are available. And tickets go on sale on December 15th.
Right.
They just had Fan Fest
last weekend. Not this last weekend, but the weekend before.
And so we were thinking they were going to probably get to wait until after the first of the year, start making guest announcements and stuff, which is I think would be about 6 months out and stuff like that. But they wanted to make sure that people bought rooms right away. So we're going to go in reverse order of how they announced it. Friday, they announced Min Young Win, who was supposed to come last year. She's Agent May from S.H.I.E.L.D. She also played Mulan. She's the voice for Mulan. She was supposed to be here last year. She had knee surgery. They weren't expecting S.H.I.E.L.D. to get picked up, so she was going to hold off doing the knee surgery. S.H.I.E.L.D. got picked up again, so she had to rush and get knee surgery, so we missed her.
Right.
And when she announced that she was going to come, she promised she would come back this year, and so they announced her on Friday.
There she is.
And there she is, and that's really cool. For me, I think that would make me want to go see her panel even more, knowing that she was making good on that promise of coming back.
Yeah. If she does a panel, I mean, she doesn't necessarily have to do one. But
she's been to a bunch of cons lately, and she's been doing some panels everywhere. Yeah. So
it would be awesome if they got a couple other people from
I think that was what the plan was last year with
but they didn't get
Robbie Reyes, who's playing the Robbie Reyes character who was playing. They were supposed to do a panel together. That was kind of the theme last year. They were doing different groups of people from different shows doing combined panels. And so It'd be awesome if we get Clark Gregg.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Golson!
So that was Friday. Thursday, we've got. How do I do this politically correct?
You don't need to be politically correct.
The fucker who fucked up our con. Actually, he's not the one who fucked up our con. He's the one who was targeted by the guy with the guns on Thursday of the con and fucked the con for everybody else.
Right. And which was not necessarily his fault.
Not necessarily his fault, but
However,
he did not handle it very well, in our opinion. So Jason David Frank is who we're talking about. He's the Green Power Ranger. I was not impressed with how he handled things last year.
No.
And he was very kind of smug about some of it.
Well, he came out on the news and said that security was horrible and the police were horrible and, basically Phoenix sucks. And now, and then he turned around in this release or whatever, and the security there is wonderful and Phoenix police are wonderful.
They did a live Facebook live stream with him, and I wasn't impressed with him last year. The people that we know that work for the con said he was a nice guy and not super demanding, but expected some stuff. And we have a friend who has a hots for him, so whatever. Sorry, Carrie. But he's coming back to try to, I think, make good on everything that happened last year. And I'm sorry, our whole con is screwed because one douchebag came in with a gun to try to shoot you. And now cosplay is pretty much forever changed here because of that. And they're just, I want you to do, I have no power here. I have no power there. I have power here. I can turn it off if I want to. But I have no power with the con. I want him to do something. Do a free signing. Do something.
Because right now it just feels like his agent went, you look bad. You probably should say that all these things were actually. And it's like, I don't care. If you don't really mean what you're saying, then don't say it. And at this point, I don't really believe what he's saying. So
that was Thursday.
But I don't care. It's a Power Ranger.
Yeah, and we're not, not our generation. So, and then Wednesday, they announced James
Tiberius Kirk.
William Shatner's coming back. He was here about 4 or 5 years ago, and apparently it was right before we started going to cons on a pretty big basis. And everybody who said he was here, he's a super nice guy, loves talking to everybody, does great in the photo line and the autograph line. The panel was so much fun.
I can't wait for his panel, definitely.
Because
he sings and
and he does, and he's been in so much stuff. He's been in Boston Legal and TJ Hooker.
Yeah.
TJ Hooker, yeah. and just all the different things.
And fanboys.
And fanboys. Well, okay. If we get to go to that panel, I might have to go up and ask him about being in fanboys, the Star Wars stuff. Him and Mark Hamill have been kind of trolling each other back and forth and having fun on Twitter. But I'm just, Shatner's like, that's a huge get for me. And so I just, again, we've talked about, we're not big going and getting photos and autographs, but that's kind of on the line a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. He's done so many. The thing for me is it's so expensive. So it needs to be worth it.
Right.
I need to know that.
Like Mark Hamill, who will go to one con this year. Or one con next year. Like last year he did New York Comic Con or Salt Lake Comic Con, and his freaking photo ops were like $120. I'd probably pay $120.
Yeah, because it would be worth that,
right?
If you sold it or whatever.
Right. So that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to that panel and everything. And then on Tuesday, they announced half the cast for Guardians of the Galaxy. Michael Rooker, David Bautista, Sean Gunn are all coming So that started off this cavalcade of stars coming for Phoenix Comic-Con. And they promoted it as the three of them are coming together and coming. I've been wanting to see Michael Rooker for a while. And David Bautista has done some cons, but he doesn't do a ton of them.
Yeah.
And Sean Gunn does a lot of cons with Michael Rooker and stuff. But yeah, I would just, the three of them in a panel together talking about the filming process and everything, and as much fun as they have with each other and stuff. I was really excited that they did that. So there's 2 panels, maybe 3, that I'm super excited about seeing right now. And they're just getting started. They'll probably do one a week now until mid-April.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, some of it'll be artists and comic book writers and stuff. But
if Claudia Gray comes, she's the one that did Leia and Bloodline and stuff like that. That would be really cool to see her. Apparently, she was here last year and nobody knew. She just showed up and was sitting in a booth and
well, you went and got the
from Timothy Zahn,
and there was nobody over there. It's
he had a huge booth and stuff, and it was Thursday evening though when we were over there. Yeah, so, but Claudia Gray was sitting in some random booth, and Robert and Vanessa we're walking by, and they're like, "Is that Claudia Gray? Hey!" So yeah, it was cool. So it'd be cool if she came back. So we're super excited about Phoenix Comic-Con. New York Comic-Con too, but Phoenix Comic-Con, we're in negotiations in our household right now about what we're going to do for con. Our 20th wedding anniversary is next year, and we're trying to go to London or Edinburgh or something like that, because my wife is Scottish of heritage, and so she wants to go commune with her people, and I'm all way okay with that. So we're trying to save money for that trip, but
we
it's the royal we.
I'm trying to save money, and my husband's trying to spend the money.
I'm not. I understand that we need to save money, but I need it. Vegas or Comic-Con.
No, you can go to Comic-Con.
We're working on it. So 3 more stories, and they're all TV based. We're going to start with the Arrow 4-way crossover. They're calling it Crisis on Planet X. Is coming. Starting November 27th. They showed the trailer today. It was all over social media. It looks like they're actually going to do a true 4-way crossover.
Yeah. Instead of part of the story here and part of everybody's in the same room together. Hey.
Yeah. And apparently Planet X was where the Nazis actually won, and so the Nazi order is in charge. In the trailer, they show Captain Cold shows back up, and Whitworth Miller is I'll come over every once in a while. Hey, you know, and
I don't know that is Prison Break still going.
I thought they were only going to do the one season. But it's cool that he's going to show up and stuff, and there's a shot. There's 2 shots that are going around. There's one of all of them in the Arrow Cave and a class photo. Yeah. That was maybe a set photo or whatever. But there's a shot in the trailer where all of the heroes are lined up across. They're walking down the street in tandem together. There's a lot of fucking leather in that scene.
There is.
There's a lot of leather. But come on, fighting Nazis.
They even one of the girls the Nazi. It's a wedding. It's Barry and Iris's wedding, and they bust into the chapel, and one of the girls, I don't remember if it was Supergirl or, they're like, I hate Nazis, and then the girls start ripping their dresses so they can actually fight in their. It's funny.
It looks awesome. We're not caught up on any of the Arrowverse. I think
we've been busy watching all these movies.
And we're watching Punisher now. I think what we'll just end up doing is waiting for it to come out on Netflix and just binge it all at once.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's just easier to do it than watching it on the app.
Yeah.
But we will watch the 4-way crossover.
Okay.
The last year's was really the 3 and 2 minute crossover they did last year was a lot of fun, but this one I'm just super excited. X-Files is starting January 3rd.
Yay!
It's going to be their last season. I'm sad, but Gillian Anderson's like, I love playing this character, but it's time to move on and do something else. I'm done playing it and stuff.
Right.
And I think they're only gonna do like 10 or 11 episodes like they did last time.
Probably.
And but I'm looking forward to it, and they better fucking pay off what happened last season. Gillian Anderson's been posting a bunch of really cool stuff on social media too, about from the filming and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was a picture of a fish, and she.
Oh yeah.
What was the baby's name?
William.
And she's kind of like, the fish is kind of in the background, and she's like, "Is this William?" You know.
It's an ugly ass fish too.
And then there was a video she posted, and it was like in between takes, and they were sitting in their outfits like on a guardrail or whatever, and she turns the camera kind of towards David Coveney, and he's eating a muffin, and she's like, "Are you eating my muffin?" You know, it's just like. And so I just like, okay, they're having fun shooting this, so that makes me happy. Okay, so the last story we wanted to talk about tonight was Doctor Who.
It's almost here.
I am very excited about watching Doctor Who, which comes out Christmas night.
Yes.
However, we have Thanksgiving and Christmas to deal with between now and then. I'm not looking forward to Christmas. I'm looking forward to Christmas. I'm not looking forward to all the getting ready for Christmas. So Can we hurry up and get to Christmas so we can watch Doctor Who, but can we slow it down so we can actually get ready for Christmas?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. We've got a lot of stuff going on between now and then.
We do.
A little movie called Return of the Jedi, or
The Last
Jedi.
Return of the Last Jedi.
Return of the Last Jedi.
The Revenge of
from the Empire.
So they...
New Hope. Never mind.
You've gone rogue.
I have.
One.
Oh.
So they did this. It wasn't even like a trailer. It was like straight out from the show, 2-minute thing.
Yeah.
And they're showing William Hartnell's first Doctor walking into the TARDIS.
He's like, "What did you do to it?" Upgrades.
And so he walks in, and then Mark Gatiss walks in behind him in a World War I outfit. Mm-hmm. And then Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor closes the door, and you know, the first Doctor's like, "I don't understand what's going on." And then Mark Gatiss is like walking around like, "Can somebody explain
bigger
to me
on the inside
what's going on?" And so they're having this kind of debate between the first Doctor and the 12th Doctor, back and forth.
He's like, "I thought I'd be younger." And
yeah.
Peter Capaldi's like, "You are younger. I'm not as old as you are."
And he makes a reference about having to regenerate a couple of times to get to Capaldi, you know, kind of thing. Like, I had some seasoning, you know, and stuff. And so it's kind of a nice little wink and a nod. It's cool to have that conversation between the two of them. But the possibilities of this episode, and knowing that this is Capaldi's last episode, and we're getting Jodie at the end of this episode. We better get Jodie at the end of this episode, or I'm gonna throw a hissy fit because I'm not waiting until April. Although
I think we will.
I mean, he's been holding off regenerating for the last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
and he's got to do it this episode, and I think Hartnell, the first Doctor's, gonna help him along the path, and,
right?
And that's kind of him kind of saying it's okay, and now we're going to go off the rails because now here comes 13. So I'm looking forward to it. So what did you guys think of this week's episode? Are you looking forward to Phoenix Comic-Con if you're here local? Are you going to go see Quentin Tarantino's new, whatever it's going to be, Manson family drama, whatever?
The Manson family murders.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if that was
the Manson family.
That's go to work, actually. And then tell us about all the reviews that we did for Ghost in the Shell, Murder on the Orient Express, and Justice League. Please like this video and leave us a comment about everything that we talked about in this week's show, and maybe if there was something that we missed and you guys would like to see us talk about it next week. You can get a hold of us also on Facebook at the Pop Culture Cult. We're Pop Culture Cult 1 on Instagram, and we're at Pop_Cult1. While you're watching this video, please go up to the little red subscribe button, click it, and now it's gray. It's magic. I told you I could do magic tricks. You can also download the Stardust app. I can't remember what it's called now. You can download the Stardust app, set it up, follow the Pop Culture Cult first, and you can do reactions to all the things that you're watching, the Incredibles 2 trailer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just like us first and then go like everybody else.
Right.
And until next time, good night now.